Hey everybody, Doug here. Welcome back to yet another board game channel and yet another episode of Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition, where we are doing the What Lies Within scenario. As is typical for this type of game, it's hard to know if we're doing well or not because we don't know what's secretly going on in the background. We finally have a monster on the board, a Dark Druid. I think we'll probably have to deal with him, otherwise he's just going to keep following us around the entire place. I've also got to decide where we're going to explore next. We've got, I believe, the ballroom here, the room that the whispers are coming from. We may just have to bite the bullet and go in and see what that's about. And this door, how did they put it? Yes, the wood paneling on this door is unfashionable and disorienting. So it's a tacky door. Alright, well, let's get to it, and we will go straight into the investigator phase. Alright, I think the first thing we're going to do is have Kate, right there, cast her Wither spell against the Dark Druid. He is within range, 3 spaces, not through doors, is within range. So yeah, we are going to attempt to attack with a spell. So I just go to the monster drawer. Chose the druid, who's got, I see we've got four hit points, so we got to try to do on it. Attack with a spell. You press your palms together tightly and whisper over them the arcane words. We're going to test her lore. We need 2 successes. Her lore is 4. She doesn't have anything that will improve that. She does have the candles, which you can use to turn all investigator tokens into successes. Don't know if I want to use that this early on, but let's see. Wouldn't matter anyway. She got a success and 3 blanks, which is not enough. So if you pass, if you fail, you pull your hands dramatically apart to no change. It was a little anticlimactic. Right, and then, as always, flip the spell you attacked with. Okay, let's see what we've got. For once, the spell seems to go exactly as written in that old book. No additional effect. Then discard this card and gain another Wither spell. Okay. It's too bad it didn't actually do what it was supposed to do. So let's shuffle the remaining Wither spells and grab another one for Kate to hold on to. I'll put that old Wither spell back in the pile. Continue. Now, sorry, slightly distracted there for a moment. Okay, well, Kate's going to give it another go. Gonna zap it again. Another attack with a spell. Under pressure, you struggle with your arcane knowledge, attempting to recall the appropriate words and gestures to shape the magic. I'm going to do the same test. Test her lore of 4. Again, we want 2 successes. Okay, that time it worked. If you pass, you manage to make sense of the information floating around in your mind, and with impeccable form, you conjure the power you desire. The monster suffers damage equal to the spell's damage plus your test result. Well, the spell does 2, and we rolled 2, so that's going to do 4. We just took down 1, 2, 3, 4. took down the Dark Druid. Confirm. Yay. He goes away. Probably to come back. But, of course, as always, we have to see what side effect we get from it. You shout as the spell leaves your body, barely managing to direct its wild power at another foe. Another monster within range suffers 2 damage. If no other monsters are within range, another investigator within range suffers 1 face-down damage. Then discard and gain another copy of the spell. Well, that's going to be Bob. He's the only one within range because Preston is on the other side of a door. So, a face-down damage for Bob. Then back into the other wither spells. And a shuffle and a shuffle. And there we go. We'll take that one. Whatever that holds for us. Alright, that was Kate. Yeah, unfortunately didn't really get... Well, it took her entire turn to do that. That's okay. The monster's gone. Let's see. Gotta decide who we're going to use next. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is have Preston move over and examine the Whisper Door. And depending on what happens, Bob, I may just have him pop in here to get the medical textbook and out again. Because he's injured and Preston is not, so it makes slightly more sense for him to have the medical textbook to heal damage, at least at the moment. But let's do Preston first and see what transpires, because that may change our strategies. So, his first action, well, he starts his move. 1. Interrupting the move to do his second action and explore. Yes, behind this door you think you can hear a faint whispering. The dining room table still has a plate from this evening's dinner. The attached kitchen is tidy and clean. Discard the explorer, place the dining room tile as indicated. Alright, I'll just cut away and find the dining room. Alright, remove that. It's the dining room like so. And see what happens next. The whispering seems to be coming from a china cabinet next to one of the doors. That's odd. A large jar of cookies. Ooh, cookies! Has been left out on the counter. There are cookies. All is well. A meat cleaver has been left on the counter. Let's just find the meat cleaver. Dig that out. LM. Just have a look at it. It is a bladed weapon. Can do potentially 2 damage on its own. When you suffer 2 face-down horror, you may suffer 2 face-down horror to convert all investigation tokens to success while attacking with this card. May. Don't have to do that. The back door hangs very slightly open. And a glass side door leads out into a yard. Still not done. One of the counters is actually on wheels. If tipped on its side, it could be used to block the door. We have potential barricade. You may move 1 space into the explored area, which Preston will do. Now we could also move one more space to... He's got one more movement space left, which I think maybe I'll go ahead and use. So he's a little further in, and our other investigators will follow him in, and they can spread out throughout the room and do a lot of exploring. So that will leave Bob. Nothing truly nasty happened there at all. So I'm going to stick with my initial plan and have Bob move one here for a second action, pick up the medical textbook. Yes, we can heal. And then his second movement, back out into the hall. All right, that is it for the investigators. Now we will move on to the dreaded mythos phase. All right, let's see what lies in wait. And the investigator phase, yes. Whoosh. Kate tries to speak, but instead, all of her teeth fall out one by one until she screams herself awake. Oh, she apparently drifted off. Kate suffers one horror. This is going to be face up. Okay. I just realized I may have been inadvertently ignoring Preston and Bob's innate abilities to heal themselves when they interact with people or pick up items. Well, I'll just have to be careful and do it from now on. So, what does Kate suffer? Minor shock. Your heart races and your breath catches in your throat. No additional effect. Flip the card down. So that's good. However, she is up to 3 horror. Yeah. Next up, don't know if you all heard that. The light at the end of the hall blinks out. Then the next, then the next. Place darkness in each space of the entry hall and hall 1. Ooh, don't like that. Darkness be bad. Great. Lights in the halls have gone out. Well, okay, we were going to move on into the dining room anyway, because there's lots of exploring to be done there. Now, something stirs in the darkness. At the far end of the hall, the shadows coalesce into the figure of a young man, missing his right arm below the elbow. Place a person token as indicated. Going to stop for a moment to find that token. Alright, doesn't really matter, but they have given us the blue token there. Okay. We may be able to talk to our murder victim after being murdered. Okay, that's it for the investigator phase. Alright. That's it for the mythos phase. Now into the next investigator phase. So, let me ponder this for a moment. Alright, first thing we're going to do is speak to our murder victim. And I'm going to have Bob do it, and this time, keep in mind, I can't remember if he did speak to the cat last turn, but I don't remember if he had any horror or not. When we do interact with him, must remember that I can either flip a horror face down or discard a horror. And he does have 2. So, yes, he's the one who's going to go speak to the spook. Alright. First action, move. Part way anyhow. Second action. Right, we will have a choice to make here. The young man appears to be chanting something. His mouth makes the same shapes over and over again. An amulet hangs around his neck, and he is missing his right arm below the elbow. So as well as ignoring him, as an action we can say, "Excuse me," listen to the ghost, or attack the ghost. I think Bob would be the type to actually just say, "Excuse me," rather than just stand there and listen. He's sure not going to attack it. That's just asking for trouble. However, we are spending an action to interact with the person, so we're going to get rid of one of his face-down horrors. I have no idea what these are. We haven't seen them. It doesn't matter. We will discard that. And that's an effect of saying, excuse me. Yes, the specter's chanting slows as he looks at you cautiously. We are testing his influence of 5. He doesn't have any clues. Just checking to see. No, he doesn't have anything on him that will improve things. Oh my god. The dice hate me. So we will just confirm a 0. The ghost reaches out to you, his hand passing through your arm. Okay, it seems that this may not have made any difference. Get out, the young man urges. A loud crashing noise comes from beneath the floor, and the ghost concentrates until an unseen force pushes you slightly towards the door. Get out, he repeats. It is coming. I cannot. The ghost disappears. Discard this person token and all darkness in the hall. Well, that's good. Very dramatic. As he flickers out of existence, the lights come back. Then gain 1 clue. Yay. There you go, Bob. And the circumstantial evidence unique item. So despite a complete failure, we still seem to get a decent effect. Here we are. Circumstantial evidence. Just a bit more and the case is closed. Find that unlikely. All right. Continue. Nothing else happens as a result. So, we could leave Bob there or have him come back and continue with the plan of all investigating in there. Or do we want to risk splitting up the party? Yeah, I'm thinking next turn we'll have him see what's in that room. If it's really horrible, he can run away and join the others. So that's going to be it for Bob's turn. Next up, let's do Preston. Now Preston, although he already has the fire extinguisher and a spell, I'm going to, for his non-move action, have him pick up that meat cleaver because, again, taking advantage of his special ability, he can discard a face-down horror for picking up an item, much like Bob gets for just talking to people. So move 1 space, pick up the meat cleaver, can pass it on to someone else if he needs to, and discard 1 of his horror, which are both face down. All right. Second action, or well, continuing his move. Do we want to go into, that'll lead to the backyard, or he can go for the cookies. Ooh, cookies are tempting. We're heading for the cookies. All right, which leaves Kate, who is going to, well, move as her first action. 1 space. And, all right, we're going to find out what's up with this whispering. Probably a ghost or something, but really, or, well, we could come back for it. Maybe she could just go and explore and open up a bit more, and then we can make a decision based on that. Because Bob, if he comes back, can always grab, I can always look in the... No, on the other hand, I want to know what the whispering is, as terrible as it will probably turn out. So for her second action, interrupting her move, she is going to... Oh, we have an option. Whispering comes from behind the cabinet door. We can open the cabinet or just listen. Let's just listen for now, so something doesn't just burst out at us. The intensity of the whispering increases, the faint sound growing stronger, more rapid until you can finally make out the words. The voice is saying Preston Fairmont over and over. One face down horror. Well, that puts Kate down to 4 sanity left out of her 8. Although at least she gets a clue. Now, she can't open the cabinet, because that would be a whole other action. But it kind of sounds like maybe Preston is meant to open that cabinet. Ooh. Yikes. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and give her second bit of movement. Going to ignore the whispering for now. And that is the end of the investigators this time. Now on to the mythos phase once more. Alright, here we go, ending the investigator phase. Kate Winthrop absentmindedly touches a hand to the wall and is overcome with visions of betrayal and bloodshed during the construction of this accursed building. She suffers 3 horror, that's face up. She can negate with a will +1, so that will give her 4 dice to roll, and she does have 2 clues. Nothing that will actually help with the roll result, with how many dice. We're trying to negate 3. Okay, she naturally negated 2, and we will spend one of her 2 clues to get 1 more success. She blocked the horror completely. Good on Kate. Oh, and that's it. That was it for the mythos phase. All right, on to investigators again. All right, we're going to start with Bob. Going to have him investigate, well, explore the apparently tacky door, the one that is unfashionable and disorienting. And we'll see if it's something that we want him to continue looking at or just run away. So we are exploring. Oh, joy. As you reach for the handle, a screaming face forms in the wood of the door. And we must test our will. And we don't know how many we need. His will is 4. Whoop. Ooh, he got 3. I don't think we need to use the clue. I think 3 is probably going to do pretty well. Confirm. You reasoned that a mere face can do little to harm you, and force yourself to open the door. Well, you're a stronger man than I am, Bob Jenkins. The face melts back into the paneling as the door swings forward. A study is filled with books, statues, and tapestries. I will be back once I find the study tile. Alright, there is the study. Throw away that. What have we got? The desk is covered in papers, some with strange esoteric scrawls on them. Over the years, this shelf of books has begun to bow under its own weight. A particularly immense tome catches your interest. Bob's got an eye for rare items. A cold draft comes from beneath the far door. The door has had several locks installed on it, Okay, that's a destination we need to get into. I suspect we'll need to get Kate in there to do some puzzle solving. Oh, there's more. A pile of ash seems to have been collected in the corner for some unknown purpose. Oh, good. With a crack and a flash of heat, the fireplace is consumed in an inferno. Place fire in the study as indicated. Oh, we've got to deal with fire. Preston has the fire extinguisher. We need to get that fire extinguisher over there. It would be too bad if he lost a weapon, but he has the meat cleaver, and fire is really bad. Is that everything? You may move one space into the explored area. Bob is not going to do that because he'll catch on fire. Instead, for his second action, he is going to move 2 spaces, all the while yelling, "Mr. Fairmont, fire!" We need that fire extinguisher. Oh boy. It's going to take us a little while. Yeah, it's going to take us until the next turn to get the fire extinguisher there, unless we do some fancy trading off with the other 2. Let me think about that, see if I want to do it. Okay, it means our investigators are not going to get to do much this turn, but if we want to put the fire out no later than next turn, we need to do this. So, we're starting with Preston. First action, he moves. Second action, he trades the fire extinguisher with Kate. Kate, first action, moves, interrupts the move. Second action, hands the fire extinguisher off to Bob. And she gets one more move, so I'm going to put her, oh, do I want to put her back to continue exploring here, or have her follow Bob, because that's where all those locks are. I still want to see what's going on attached here. Something important might be going on in the yard. So for her second space of movement, we will move her back there, which ends the investigator phase. Although I'm glad I did Bob first. Otherwise we would have had trouble getting the fire extinguisher to him by next turn. Alright. That will be it for the investigators phase. It was pretty short. So, yes, Mythos phase. Alright. So, I'm pretty sure, yes. The fire spreads out of control. Place a fire in a space adjacent to a space containing fire. Adjacent is not the same as within range. Adjacent just means a connecting space, no matter what. It goes through walls. It doesn't care. So I choose fire spreads so it knows. From nowhere, the distorted sound of an elderly man's sobs deafens you to all other noise. Slowly you realize that in between the sobs, the old man is pleading with you by name to leave this house. Each investigator suffers 2 horror. That'll be face up. We can negate it with will. Alright, let's start with Preston with a will of 3. Da-da-da. Yeah, just checking to see. Yeah, nothing that's really going to help there. He has no clues to spend, so he blocked 1. So he's going to take one face-up horror. Shrieking fit. You scream and scream and scream, and then you cry, and then giggle, and then hiccup. All right. Become restrained, then discard this card. Okay, we will get rid of the card, and then have a quick look for a restrained status card. You cannot move voluntarily. At the end of your turn, discard this card. So he's not going to be able to do any moving next turn. It's okay, we'll just have him check out the yard. Next up, Bob with a will of 4. He does have one clue. Okay, he'll use the clue to block one of the horror, because one's bad enough. We don't want 2 face up. Hysteria. You scream and scream and scream. This sounds familiar. You slap yourself as hard as you can, hoping to break the cycle. Resolve immediately. Flip 1 damage face up, then flip this card face down. He does unfortunately have a face down damage. Let's see what he does when he slaps himself. Oh, jeez. Broken arm. You cannot feel your arm at all. You think that this might be a bad sign. If you ever have more than 2 items, drop all but 2 of your items. And he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, well, he's keeping the fire extinguisher. Because, yes, we need him to go put out the fire. And I think maybe, I don't know, the medical textbook won't help with face-up damage. So he'll keep, I guess, the King James Bible right now. He can drop the evidence and the key in the... We'll pick it all up. Somebody can pick it all up, like Kate. So he drops a big pile of stuff there with his broken arm. Ouch. Now, we need Kate to test for the horror. She's only got a will of 3. And again, we will use her last clue to get 1 success, so she only takes 1 face-up horror. Your wits desert you, leaving you mumbling and uncertain. How could what you have just seen be real? Become dazed, then flip this down. So, well, this is not too big a deal. Dazed just means for her next turn, she will not be able to spend clues to convert dice results or perform additional puzzle steps. She has no clues to spend. All right. What happens next? Oh God, again. A draft blows through the house, and you can hear an otherworldly commanding voice on the wind, summoning an unknown beast. The voice brings with it flashes in your mind of some unearthly plane intermixed with visions of a dirt floor and stone walls. Each investigator suffers 2 horror, negating with will. Okay. This 1 mythos phase may just annihilate us. Alright, Preston first with 3. He takes 1. Sudden shock. You fling up your hands to defend yourself, sending a few of your possessions flying. Drop 2 random items, then flip the card face down. He only has 2 items. The sedatives and the meat cleaver. This is pretty disastrous all of a sudden. Bob with 4 will blocks completely the horror. And then Kate with 3, worried about Kate. Oh, but she blocked it all too. Okay. Whew, that could have gone much worse. We just got to pick up a lot of stuff. And that is that. Alright, not happy leaving it there, so I'm going to do one more round. I want to get a few things resolved here. So, we are going to, I'm going to start with Bob. Let's deal with this fire. First action. Move 2. Second action. Fire extinguisher. Discard all fire in your space and adjacent spaces. The fire is out. We just have to remember to tell that to the app during the Mythos phase. Alright. Good job, Bob. Now come back and see if we can fix you and get your stuff back. Alright, let me think about who will be next. Okay, Preston cannot move unless Kate decides to shove him. But I think we don't actually need to do that. For his first action, he's going to take his items back. Sedatives and meat cleaver are once more in his possession. Second action, well, I was going to have him... What I really wanted him to do was come around here to do that because it was calling his name. But that's not an option now because of restrained. So yeah, let's check out, let's explore the artfully decorated door with wrought iron vines, and see if something significant is happening out in the backyard. So we are going to explore that. The conservatory must have once been very beautiful, but now it looks quite run down. So, I will spend a moment looking for the conservatory. Right, here we go. Take away that. And the conservatory. What else have we got? 2 large stones can be seen among the flowers. Somehow that's significant. The ramshackle conservatory still contains row after row of wildly overgrown plants. An old shotgun has been mounted for show on the conservatory wall. Shotgun could potentially be very nice, although we've only had a single monster, which in a way worries me. This means they could just come for us en masse, all at once. The yard continues into a small sitting area. So once we go into that space, we can look around more. The greenery wraps around the house into the backyard. Well, we've established that this will lead to the backyard, so that's not surprising that that is there. We may move one space into the explored area. I'm not sure if that counts as moving or not. He's restrained. Yeah, you cannot move. Yeah, I think it makes sense that he can't do the normal move. Because it doesn't say you can't perform a move action. It says you cannot move voluntarily. However, it is the end of his turn, which means he does get to get rid of the restrained. Get rid of that. And that will leave Kate. Poor, slowly going insane Kate, who has 5 horror out of her 8 maximum sanity. She's down to 3. We may have to spend a turn or two hanging out with Bob so he can read from the King James Bible and calm her down. Well, initially, my plan for her, and there's no reason why I can't do it, was to, I was going to send her around to check out the cookies. It's just too tempting. I need to know what's with the cookies. So her first action will be move 2 spaces. Second action, possibly unwisely, a large jar of cookies has been left out on the counter. Oh, so she can choose to either eat a cookie or smash the jar. Oh, what if the cookie is wonderful and has some kind of healing effect on her? On the other hand, what if it has some horrible poisonous effect on her and... I don't know, smashing the jar just out of nowhere seems, I don't know, just spiteful. Somebody has a jar of cookies there. Why would you smash a jar of cookies just like that? She's going to eat a cookie. You pull one of the cookies from the jar and are pleasantly surprised to find it is your favorite kind. That's either really good or very ominous. You reflect on how even in the strangest of places there are good things that can happen. Become focused. Let me grab a focused status for her. You may discard this card to convert all investigation symbols to successes while resolving a test. The power of cookies. You consider taking a few more for later, but when you glance in the jar, you notice a disc that has been hidden away with the cookies, and it drives away the thoughts of sweets. The disc has strange raised lines on it in the shape of a star. Gain the Cult Sigil unique item. There it is. Evidence and key are the keywords. This token serves as proof of membership for a cult. Then discard the search token. Go cookies. That's wonderful. And that ends the investigator phase. So one more time, we are going through the mythos phase. Okay. One final mythos phase. Let us see what happens. Whoa. Right, first things first, we will let the app know that we have in fact extinguished the fire. You feel truly safe when you have something to hold on to against the panic. This mythos event affects the investigator with the most common items. Let's see, Preston has 2. Bob only has, Bob has 2. And Kate has 2. So we're going to get to choose. Going to choose Preston because he is the least overall damaged at the moment. He's only got 2 horror, as opposed to Bob with 2 horror and a face-up damage, and Kate with a face-down damage and 5 face-down horror. Because I assume it's going to be bad. So, Preston it is. Oh, and I just remembered, forgot to discard Kate's dazed condition at the end of her go. A sudden start causes you to drop the object in your hands, and before you can check yourself, your heel crunches against it hard. Test agility. Success would need 2 successes. He does have 4 agility. He's actually got the best agility out of them all, so this was good. Of course, he may still fail. Oh, he doesn't have any clues. If you pass, If you fail, the object is smashed beyond repair. Discard 1 random common item. God damn it. It's going to lose either the meat cleaver or the very useful sedatives. Don't really want to lose either of those, so we are going to keep the other one and discard. Yep, there go the sedatives. They're gone. He still keeps his meat cleaver. And that is it for that Mythos phase. At least nothing else nasty happened. Okay. As always, it's up and down. It's a roller coaster ride. Oh, and I just realized I moved the wrong figure. Should have been Kate over there eating the cookies. So yeah, that'll be it for this episode. Thanks very much everybody for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing and commenting both on YouTube and Board Game Geek. It's very much appreciated. And I will see you next time when we play yet another few rounds of Mansions of Madness: What Lies Within. See you then.